Hey guys, how's it going? Dudey here. I am back with another video. Today we're going to delve into the horrors of the Murder Castle by H.H. Holmes. Now obviously that sounds like a book written by author H.H. Holmes. No, this guy was a prolific and sadistic serial killer that constructed a hotel of which some of the rooms were used to torture and kill the people that stayed at the hotel. But before we get into that, we're going to go back to his childhood, growing up, and then finally his crimes at the Murder Castle. Born in New Hampshire, 1861, Holmes famously said that he was born with the devil himself inside him, and that the inclination to murder came as naturally to him as to do right comes to a good person. Holmes showed the stereotypical traits of a serial killer, harming animals, etc. as a young child. However, even though he had a propensity for evil, he had a relatively normal upbringing. He graduated high school, he got married, he had a child, he went to university. He later dropped out of the university he was attending to go to a different university where he later graduated. Now interestingly, he studied human dissection, which of course would come in very handy in his later life, which I'll explain in just a moment. But it was also noted that he was incredibly violent to his wife. Things very quickly began to escalate in his life, and so he began traveling, going from city to city and seemingly leaving a trail of death in his wake. It is reported that 2 children went missing from 2 of the towns of which Holmes visited. One witness claiming he saw Holmes with the child just a little while before the child disappeared. Another child died from using the drugs that were prescribed to him from the pharmacy of which Holmes worked. So like I said, Holmes was consistently travelling about, and he was paying his way through fraud. He would often do insurance scams. But the way that he did this, he integrated his knowledge on human dissection. He would go to cadavers and mutilate the bodies and then claim that they died via accidents so he could cash in the money from their life insurances. Holmes finally settled down in Chicago, and it was here that he purchased the infamous Murder Castle. It was a 3-story building on 63rd and Wallace Street, and it took up an entire block. This place was enormous. He called it the World's Fair Hotel, and this is where he would kill countless people. There are reports that he killed up to 200 people. However, in order for him to get his Murder Castle up and running, it was far from plain sailing. He had issues with suppliers. There was also accusations that he was trying to do another insurance scam because a little bit of it burnt down. He claimed this was not the case. Very reminiscent of the Winchester Manor in California, this place was like a maze. It had doors that opened up to just brick walls. It had some rooms that were just sealed off with no doors. It had staircases leading nowhere. It had hallways that would loop round so you'd end up where you started. The place was incredibly distorted and confusing. The only person that could ever make sense of it was H.H. Holmes himself. This was of course by design, because what it meant was people found it very hard to escape when fighting for their lives. Holmes would often invite young women to stay at his hotel free of charge, of course, and these would become some of his first victims at the Murder Castle. He also had a mistress, of which he killed both her and her daughter Pearl, and he had a friend who actually assisted him in some of the killings called Petezel. Now, not only did Petezel assist Holmes in some of his crimes, they also thought up a plan to fake Petezel's death so they could both share the life insurance of $10,000 each. However, Holmes could not source a cadaver in order to pull off this fraud, so he simply chloroformed Petezel and then set his body on fire. Holmes also claims to have then gone on to kill 3 out of 5 of Petezel's children, 2 of which were found buried on the premises. Now, what gives Holmes the title of arguably the worst serial killer in American history is because of the way that he did this. He had rooms for different methods of torture and killing. He had rooms with tools to strip the flesh from the body. He had rooms with tools to tear the body apart. He had rooms that were gas chambers. He had rooms that were gallows for hanging people. He had rooms with blow tortures in. He had rooms with corrosive acid inside. He had rooms with a quicklime pit in. And all of the walls were ironclad so the people that were inside them could never escape. Throughout the whole hotel there were chutes, like laundry chutes in regular hotels, but these were used to quickly dispose of and maneuver the bodies around the hotel. H.H. Holmes' crimes went on for a very long time. Once caught, he confessed to 27 of the murders. However, like I said, it is hypothesized that he could have killed up to 200 people. Even more interestingly, in 2017, his great-great-grandson came forward with what he believed to be evidence that H.H. Holmes was in fact also Jack the Ripper. He claims that his diaries show proof that H.H. Holmes escaped, did some of his trickery with cadavers and fled to London, where he committed the crimes of Jack the Ripper, as there are notes and recollections in these diaries of the crimes of Jack the Ripper. So is H.H. Holmes and Jack the Ripper one and the same? Let me know what you think down below. Guys, what do you think of H.H. Holmes' crimes? What do you think of the murder castle? It's one of the most interesting serial killer stories, in my opinion, of all time. The fact that the MO was actually a building and that there were different rooms for different methods really show the extent and the sadism of this man. And also, what do you think about the Jack the Ripper stuff? I'm inclined to think that there's some weight behind it, as Jack the Ripper was never found, and obviously these diaries do explicitly talk of murders in London of prostitutes around the same time that the Jack the Ripper cases took place. Or is this just he's caught wind of these crimes and then tried to take the glory, if you like, as a serial killer probably would do? But anyway guys, that's it for this video today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. If you enjoy true crime content, please let me know down below and hit that like button. It's a great way for me to see that you enjoy this content. If you want to support me, Patreon is an amazing way. The link for that is down below. I also stream on twitch.tv/Dudey Rhino, so if you want to go check that out. I'm also in collaboration with these guys, Hobo Jack. I do my own line of merch with them, so if you go to the link down below, that'll take you direct to that page. And also Hobo Jack do some amazing clothing themselves, so go and check them out as well. Thank you so much guys. I'll see you very soon. Upload every Monday, Tuesday and Thursday, 7 PM, 6:30 PM and 7 PM. I'll see you tomorrow. Sweet one, geese.